Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm back for some more of the Maxi Toys videos, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Sonic Forces for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and of course, Nintendo Switch. So last time we did tackle through those three stages, which consist of Green Hill, Lost Valley, Chemical Plant, Spaceport, and City in the Ghost Town. So today for this episode, folks, is the fact that we're going to be moving on into the next stage in this game, and I believe we're going to be once again going to have to take control of the Avatar character, and now see forms of the Dev Egg in Prison Hall. So it's kind of weird to actually explore the Dev Egg in the very beginning of the game. So even then though, that makes it kind of a little bit more of an interesting twist and terms here and there. So let's get this thing started. So now, how is anyone doing? Well, today was actually forms of the 14th of January 2018, of course. And yeah, I do apologize for the fact that of the lack of uploads recently. It's not just because this is going to be the fifth time for actually doing a commentary sake of this for this particular part of the playthrough. Well, it's not so bad in the recording session and the capture recording right now because it runs very, very well. But unfortunately, that can't be same applies to the audio commentary, I'm afraid, for the likes of, you trying to discuss upon some things, upon doing in gameplay, because I just cannot for the life of me, I got screwed over during the likes of the timing of the script, and especially noticeable with, well, this one thing that really bugs me the most part is the fact that, the Roxo video wave, and the one that I just able to actually constantly be using, video editing software, it just kept crashing all the time, which even then though, that can really ticks me off the most. But apart from that though, I'm just really hoping it should be stable for the most part. So even then, I won't let that happen again, well, until not for long though, on the other hand. So anyways though, yeah, I just managed to discuss on quite a few things though actually. First off is that you know how the fact that back in Sonic Unleashed Let's Play, that definitely did already tackle for that. Well, he's currently still doing it at the moment, but so far that he says that we're about to be seeing Coco during the likes of the 13th of January, and speaking of such, I managed to watch that film about in a previews selection, which even then I was originally trying to see that during the likes of the 19th of January when it first came out, but I managed to see it really early, so even then when I first thought about the film, I actually do really enjoyed it, and even then though, definitely recommendable for those of you who want to be a true animator out there, especially if you're a huge fan of Pixar and all that stuff. Definitely recommend it though, and then yeah, that's what I can really tell. Of course I won't gonna be spoiling the ending for this point folks, because if you haven't seen already, go ahead and definitely recommend seeing it, because even then, it is so really awesome. And even then though, it does make me cry a little bit, but even then though, that, well, you'll see why in just a moment until you guys eventually see it. So, anyway, so this is Dev Egg Prison Hall. As you expected, that we're going to be taking control of our Avatar character right there. And it seems this stage is not that hard, but even then though, that sometimes it contains the 2D segments, which I have to admit though right away is that these controls in the 2D segments is not that perfect by any means. But because of that though, you see why in the later stages, because even then, from now on we got ourselves these new parts of your avatar's costumes, especially with the wristbands included. So even then though, we got ourselves our 4th S rank in this run through, so it's not too bad. Not too bad and not too shabby. So even then though, yeah. And I believe we're now moving on to the 5th stage, where we're about to be face off against the first boss in the game actually. And we're now going to be taking control of Modern Sonic ever since the very first stage in the game. So it's been about 4 stages ago since, well, Green Hill Lost Valley.
This is the end, Sonic.
Oh, hey, sounds like the party started. Want to let me go and join in? No? Of course not. You hate fun. Whoa. Wow. The end, huh? Let's see you try something now that I'm free.
Foolish hedgehog. Getting out of your chains does not make you free. Now, come and face the inevitable.
Ha! The only thing inevitable here is my foot kicking your butt.
Okay, here we go with face off against with Zavok ever since well, Sonic Lost World for the Wii U / 3DS / PC version. But even then though, that's kind of weird to actually, another weird thing is that we're going to be face off against with him in the very beginning of the game. So even then though, it makes me feel like, are we in the tougher bosses already? Well, I wouldn't say this boss wasn't exactly tough though, because if I've played this on the PlayStation 4, he's pretty simple. Basically, all you have to do is that in these segments right here, is that we need to dodge one of his Swarm of Bee attacks, including the likes of this little rapid Bee Swarm enemies right over there. And then, yeah, that's all you really do. And then every time when he's trying to perform himself this little stomp ability, it's your chance to able to homing attack into him about 3 times until you deal the damage. So yeah, that's all you're really trying to do. However, there's one thing I have to admit though right away, is that the homing attack itself in this game is not that perfect by any means. Because much like the 2D segments in this game, you'll see why until whenever we come towards the issue with the homing attack, including the likes of the 2D segment mechanics. But even then though, that, yeah, for the most part it's fine. So even then though, that as soon as you see the drop shadows right there, and, oh, really? Why is my homing attack not working? Because, yeah, that was a bad example of how the fact that, the homing attack in this game is incredibly broken. Even especially noticeable how the fact that it doesn't seem to work. Which even then though, there's going to be plenty of times whenever I was trying to homing attack into things, but then my logon cursor is not even registering very well. Which even then though, that could be, the same applies to the, again, 2D segments controlling, department. But even then though, again, when we get to the later stages in this game, then you can definitely see what I'm talking about. But anyways, so here we go, homing attack into him 3 times until it deals the damage, and, yeah, as soon as it gets to the halfway point, it starts to actually, it makes the actual arena itself go a little bit more, well, smaller I should say, but even then it's your chance to able to dodge. You can, like, destroy those enemies whatever you wanted to, but a lot of times you're gonna have to dodge the, Zavok's, B, mechanism. So even then though, that, if you do that, then you would able to do it just fine. So even then though, as you expected, this is the first boss in the game, so it makes this boss really, really easy, so that's all I can really tell. But anyways, let's go ahead and just dodge those quite a few times. And in addition to actually just hopefully trying to attack them. And again, there's not much else detailed about this boss, so I do apologize if there's any, you know, things to actually discuss upon this fight. It does this part automatically, by the way.
No! How could I lose to the likes of you again?
That was a blast. Bring some chili dogs next time.
Yeah, because even then though, that Zavok lost by Sonic for the, I would say the 3rd time in a row, because although technically, in Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, that he's become a playable character ever since, well, in boxing events, but even then though, that was the only time when that happened. So, anywho, so that was it for the Zavok fight, and even then though, he's pathetically easy, and we got ourselves our new Wisp-on weapon. Now it forms, I think it was actually based off of from Sonic Lost World's 3DS version, Lightning Wisp. Which I think that's what it makes it represents from that. So, yeah, it's not that bad of a boss fight. If you know what you're doing, what this little pattern's going on here, you should be fine for the most part. So anyways, now we move on to, I believe we're going to move on to the next level now.
That sound again. Whoa, it's not time for thinking, it's time for running.
It looks like we're gonna have to escape from the death egg, because for some reason the death egg is going completely rumbling. So now it's up to me to actually escape from that place in the egg gate. So without further ado, we'll get this level started. So again, we're going back to modern Sonic as you expected. Okay, quick go right there, because I have to actually restart this level, because you know I've mentioned this before of how bad the homing attack mechanics are in this game. This is how the example of how the fact that my homing attack itself doesn't seem to actually work on me, because even then, when you get to this part right there, you need to directly angle yourself from the likes of you trying to perform a homing attack into enemies chain by chain. But even then though, that what makes it incredibly bummer compared to how it does it in Sonic Unleashed, Colors, Generations, and Sonic Adventure and all that stuff, including the likes of Sonic Lost World, because even then, in Sonic Lost Worlds, to be a small extent, it does have the ability to, you would able to charge up your homing attack in the first place. But apart from that though, it feels incredibly jarring whenever you've seen that homing attack is not even working in the Sonic game this time around. But at least in Sonic and the Secret Rings, you can like, homing attack into things like these little genie-based enemies. But even then though, that's as far as I can really try to think about this at this point. So, anyway, so this is the Egg Gate. It kind of almost resembles to Egg Fleets for a small extent from Sonic Heroes, and at the same time Asteroid Coaster from Sonic Colors, because even then though we got Planetoid to Planetoid in the background, in addition to actually exploring for those little factory departments right there. Almost kind of feels a bit similar to how it does in Starlight Carnival for a small extent, but except the fact that it usually takes place in Death Egg. But even then, again, it's kind of weird to actually add in the Death Egg level in the very beginning of the game. So, anyways, so yeah, I need to get used to what the controls again, because even then though, that I've noticed something is that the A button is now the stomp ability instead of like the usual A buttons, unlike in Sonic Unleashed, Colors and Generations, and also Sonic Lost World to be a small extent. This scene does remind me of Star Wars for some reason, because even then though, we're going for pilot by pilot. But even then, except the fact that we have to deal with quick time events. I always found that really hard to deal with this in a perfect run, because sometimes the actual screen itself can be a little bit too shaky for most of the time though anyway. Whoa! And as usual, we're gonna go dive down, and we somehow end the level, because there's no goal ring this time, because instead it was actually replaced as the hologram of Team Dr. Eggman logo. And now it changes into this little star icon, which actually represents, well, Team Sonic wins. So, I was really damn close to actually getting myself an S rank on this run through in this stage. But there goes the first S rank on this particular playthrough. But even then, so far we've got 5 S ranks so far. So even then, that's not that bad of a run through, I have to say that much. But anyways though, so let's see how we're gonna be getting out of the Death Egg itself.
Everything's cool. Are you here to rescue me? Mm-hmm. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's been a while since I've seen a friendly face.
Hey, rookie, you still in one piece?
Oh, sure. Don't even bother to ask how I am.
Sonic!
Amy?
I'm so glad.
Hold up, Amy.
Is there an exit around here?
I think we'll be fine. We gotta get on that egg in a hurry.
Your concern is touching, Knuckles.
Okay, so now we've saved, modern Sonic now, so even Endo now is head back to Earth.
Sonic, finding you alive is the best news we've had in months. And here's the bad news. Our intel indicates Eggman's got a weapons factory in Green Hill, pumping out munitions for his war effort.
A factory? We can't take out Eggman's home base in Metropolis if he's got a factory supplying him.
No kidding. Look, Sonic, I know you just got back, but we're spread thin. Can you take care of this? We need that factory in Green Hill destroyed. Take the rookie with you.
You sure about this? The kid was shaking like a leaf the whole time we were at the Death Egg.
That's because it's cold in space. The factory is nice and warm.
It will be when it's burnt to the ground. Sonic, you take the lead. Rookie, and just make sure you take good notes.
I got 6 months of payback I'm just dying to spend. This sounds like a good start.
Alright, so now we're moving on to the next stage in the game, stage 7, back in Green Hill, but this time it now calls it Arsenal Pyramid. And it seems more accurately, we got ourselves a combination of both modern Sonic and the Avatar characters to select from. That's because we're going to be expecting to actually play the tag team stage. So even then though, think of like playing through Sonic Heroes all over again, except it's just 2 characters this time. But even then though, the only way you can actually switch between those 2 characters is the forms of, well, pressing the trigger button if you're actually using the Whisper weapon for the Avatar, or simply just able to use the, I'm assuming the boost for Sonic. So even then though, that, oh, this is a really fun part. Here goes the double boost. Together we can show the world we can do. They take that next to you. Pushing out through that through the battles won.
That's how it's done.
Healing to that to us. Healing to our trust. Standing united after the fight. Damn, that was actually a really cool, fantastic song, by the way. I believe it's actually called Fist Bump from the likes of the actual vocal theme for this game. In fact, speaking of such, it has been a really long time since we got our vocal Sonic theme music ever since Sonic Colors from during back in 2010. Granted, that's because of the limitations of Sonic Generations doesn't have the vocal theme, especially notable with the Sonic Lost Worlds vocal theme anywhere else, because I couldn't purposely trying to hear those lyrics. So yeah, it's been about 7 years. Well, technically almost 7 or 8 years, I should say. Well, since we're now in 2018, but even then, though, we haven't got into the actual, you know, the exact same release date as when Sonic Colors first released, but that was back in 2010, as you expected. But even then, that welcome back vocal themes, so I do appreciate it. So yeah, similar to how it does it in between Rainbow by Sia, especially notable with Off to See the World by Lucas Graham from the likes of My Little Pony the movie 2017, and especially notable with Jump Up Superstar from Super Mario Odyssey. Those 4 tracks are without a doubt one of my favorite pieces of music in 2017 so far. And I have to say though, it feels really damn good. So even then though, that yeah, that's why I just managed to sing it from. So even then though, that yeah. So as you expected for this particular stage, it's basically something almost exactly similar to the Death Egg level, but except the fact that we're going to be going into by gear when it comes to able to doing some little bit of platforming here and there, but otherwise it's a very simple stage. But even then, there's still a whole lot of enemies to able to deal with. But even then, I have to say though, is that these robots designed this time around though is a little bit too lackluster in my opinion, just because of how generic they look. But even then though, that we're not going to go into any details about this kinds of stuff. And yet again, I haven't got S rank on this level. If I couldn't remember about that right, oh, I really like this little fancy shirt. Huh, it does reminds me of almost resembles to well, Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. Gotta think about it, the Powerpuff Girls needs to come back to the first Splatoon game.
Is attacking inside the Mystic Jungle. Silver is fighting him, or it, or whatever. Just hurry!
Guys, it's him!
I'm looking forward to a second round with this guy.
And after that, we're going to be instantly transported into the next stage in this game, and also forms of Stage 8, where looks like we're going to be exploring through the new environment. It takes place in Mystic Jungle, and we got ourselves a stage named Luminous Forest. So, let's get started. And of course, we're going back into the artificial modern Sonic's gameplay style yet again. So, yeah. Because of that though, it's been a long while since I actually played as modern Sonic. Well, at least again, ever since the first ever stage in the forms of Lost Valley. So even then though, that's about time. So anyway. So I believe Mystic Forest is something almost exactly, more accurately a combination of, let's just say a Mystic Forest level. Or even especially noticeable, as you can see, we got ourselves some neon lights in the background. I think that could be something related to until later. But from now on though, it's going to have to deal with those little 2D segments in addition to, well, kick the likes out of these robots every time. But even then, the AI of these robots this time around though is pretty much awful for the most part for me, because they just pretty much stand motionless and they can shoot you with either the weakest amount of weapons, and you have absolutely no effort to run for comfort. Even with these robots right there, you can simply just boost to win. And even those little purple robots, they kind of remind me like a chicken robots. Well, not to be exactly for sure, but even then, they run around like an idiot. But anyway though, yeah, as you see right there, we got ourselves these white wisps ever since Sonic Colors and all that stuff, which once again allows you to be able to actually get yourself some boosts, which even then, as you expected. Are you kidding me? Well, there goes the first step of the actual playthrough of Sonic Forces, so I do apologize for that. Well, technically it won't count because I've accidentally died twice during the likes of, let's just say during the likes of the Egg Gates level, because this is why the controls can get really screwy sometimes in this game sometimes, because I just can't for the life of me trying to able to quick step fast enough. Although you can't do a quick step on these sequences like that, but a lot of times I don't get myself faster enough. Oh, we got ourselves this little snake monster sequence. In fact, this does remind me of almost related to the film called Hercules. When he was trying to fight against with the Hydra, it does remind me of that particular sequence. But except it wasn't based around Greece, it was actually on, you know, the Mystic Jungle environment. So, there's not much anything else detailed about it. But hey, at least if you manage to deal with all these little button command sequences, you should be fine in addition to getting yourselves extra points and excluding 60 rings in total. That I just realized about that. So anyways, I really guarantee I don't get myself an S rank. The only time you need to get an S rank in this game is to actually do a perfect run through, just like how he does it in Sonic Generations. So yeah, to get the idea what this ranking system is all about. But even then though, you don't want to die too many times unless your points count on your retires or retries catalog. As you can see here, that I've got myself just only one retry, but even then, that might actually count as like subtracting that amount of points you can get. But yeah, that's all I can really talk for this point. So, anyway, so we now move on to the next stage, which is in forms of stage 9, and we're going back to Mystic Jungle, and it looks like we're gonna have to fight against the second boss in the game. It appears to be Infinite. I wonder what Infinite guy was all about then, huh?
This wasn't part of my agenda, but I'm always happy to crush a hero. It keeps the rabble in line, shows them that there is no hope.
Does anyone but you believe your lies? Huh.
See,
Time to tag out, Silver. I got it from here.
well, look who's back from the dead. The little blue savior. But what's that I smell? You reek of fear. Glad to see I left an impression.
That's not fear. I ran all the way over here. And you haven't left an impression. I don't know anything about you, not even your name.
You may call me Infinite. In the brief moments that remain to you.
Oh, great. See, Infinite? Now we're getting to know each other. So, what's your favorite color? Do you like long, romantic walks on the beach? What's the source of your power? You can skip the first two questions if you like.
The source of my power is none of your concern.
Sorry, but you've just got to share the secret of your power with me. I insist.
Your insistence is futile.
Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa!
Sonic, you okay?
Wait a second. I think I've heard that sound effect before. It appears to be the exact same sound effect as when the Phantom Ruby is active. So that's why how the fact that this game's story usually ties in after Sonic Mania's plot's finished. At least specifically for those of you who managed to get yourselves the best ending in Sonic Mania before. And that is when also around that time when Classic Sonic is now joined in the phrase. So, anyways folks, here we have ourselves the Infinite fight right there. In fact, this particular sequence almost reminds me like I was playing Sonic Lost World again. But except the fact that it was on the PlayStation 4 or Nintendo Switch or the Xbox One console this time. Because the Wii U service is now, well, the Miiverse most likely. The Miiverse is now ended with the Wii U and 3DS sadly. But the Wii U is now pretty much discontinued at this point. But anyway, enough about this little system intelligence, about this little catalyzing stuff. So all you have to do in this particular fight is very simple. We have to basically just to boost to win basically. And then you need to catch up to him before you're able to deal your chance to do a homing attack onto him. You need to homing attack him at least once before you deal the damage on him. But then in some parts, you're going to have to homing attack into those little duplicates of the Infinite. So that this particular Infinite does sort of feels a bit similar to Mephiles the Dark from Sonic 06. Except, well, obviously that, although the face itself is very similar to Mephiles the Dark in my opinion. But except, well, it now carries the Phantom Ruby. You need to be very careful with these little bite-sized versions of the Phantom Ruby's powers. Because if you touch one of those, then your screen will get disorientating. So even then, though, you do need to actually dodge those. So, apart from what you're doing, it's not too bad.
Your abilities exceed your previous data.
Unlike mechs, I
Of course, Infinite wasn't down yet, because he's still strong enough compared to me. So even then though, that, although he was still strong compared to me though, because I'm still needs to be a little bit more improvement on that. But there you go, that was it for the Infinite fight. So it's pretty easy if you know what you're doing, but even then it should be not as problematic as you used to be. So, and also you get yourselves these little medals, as you can see. That could be something related to the leveling up system for those of you who become a hero and all that stuff. Oh yeah, for that new West spawn I got right there, I think that was actually based off from Blue Cube. So even then I was pointing out the returning Wisp power ever since Sonic Colors for the Wii. So yeah, that was it basically, so now let's move on.
Well, you've improved since the last time, but you will still lose. As I predicted, you're not even worth the effort to finish off.
I gotta figure out the secret of his power.
You know, I was thinking of the same thing as you're gonna say, Modern Sonic. So, I'm afraid guys, I'm gonna have to end things off here for this point, so tune me next time on Let's Play Sonic Forces for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch versions. It's the fact that we're going to be moving on back into Green Hill again, but it usually calls it Green Hill again, which now we're gonna be taking control of Classic Sonic. So yeah, see you guys next time. Later, fellas.